What's happening, guys? We're jumping straight into a FM20 save. It's going to be a great Let's Play series. Very used to playing with Nottingham Forest on Football Manager 20. So welcome along to the ride. We're going to be trying to get Nottingham Forest into the Premier League as soon as possible, maintaining that position and eventually growing into a European team, hopefully. We're here in the boardroom and we've just been hired, replacing Sabri Lamucci. We're on a 20k per week deal, and the media are predicting we're going to finish 6th. I think we can do a little bit better than that. We've got a quite large stadium, obviously Nottingham Forest, sleeping giant status and all that sort of stuff. A lot of legends have played here. We've got 2 European trophies. So yeah, a lot of good history. Strong team for the league as well. Graben, Cavallo, Silva, a load of good centre-backs for Forest actually. Captain's currently Michael Dawson, who's obviously a club legend. Adoma, Joe Lolly, of course. We've got a few players out on loan as well, as you can see. And yeah, all around, in general, a great squad to have for the Championship. Shouldn't be too much of an issue trying to get up into the Premier League. So, this is a new feature within Football Manager 20, highlighting what we need to go and achieve. So we're required to work within the wage budget this year. End of the current season, we want to be in the playoffs. FA Cup reach 4th round, Carabao Cup reach the 3rd round. We should be able to achieve those targets, no problem. And then you can see at the end of 2021, we've got win promotion to the Premier League. I'm aiming to do the promotion straight away. We'll see how that goes though, because obviously this is a difficult league. It's a preferred target as well, so it's not like it's a required target either. And you can see at the top there we've got play attacking football, so we need to create a formation where the fans are going to be excited by the football we're playing. Otherwise, the fans might turn against us and we may end up getting an early sacking. So a few standard questions here when you start FM around what do you want to know about the club. So we'll skip the friendly and just get some reports sent in. So I've got a few induction things here. I'm not going to go into all this sort of stuff. I think what I'll do is I'll skip the actual saves now to the end of pre-season, where I'll discuss what's been going off, who's sort of in the team, etc, etc. So yeah, let's jump ahead. So we're here on the schedule screen, and you'll see that I've blocked out the results of the Championship. I got a little bit carried away, went straight into the future, but don't worry, I'm going to cover everything that's gone off so far. So as you can see, we had an interesting start to pre-season with a couple of losses in there as well. The first game against Partizan was a ball draw, is pretty much how I'd describe it. And my objective through pre-season was to get everybody match fit and ready for the hectic schedule that the Championship brings, in the especially in the first part of the season. So was rotating the teams around a bit. So we rotated for Port Vale, where Claudio Jacob and Albert Adoma scored, along with Joe Lolly. Really good performance from the guys. Then we went over to the US, I believe, to play a friendly cup, where we started off in the semi-final against the Mexican team Pumas. They have a really nice kit, by the way. They have quite a few nice kits. If you ever want to go check them out, I'll include some images. We actually drew 3-3, and Joe Lolly had a really good game. Unfortunately, we didn't win that though. It ended up on penalties, and we lost with Milosevic and Sami Amiobi missing. Into the New York game, we played New York City, and that was for the 3rd place playoff in the Friendly Cup. Massive trophy, as you can imagine. The pressure was really on. Nothing really happened apart from Sami Amiobi picking up an injury. I did think we'd beat New York because they literally had I think it was like 60% match fitness throughout the squad. At this point, ours was a lot better, and yet we lost. We did play a couple of the youths though, like Alex Myton and Brennan Johnson, so they got some game time. Before we moved on to our 3-win streak, we had a testimonial game which we won 2-0 against Morecambe, and we beat a Scottish semi-pro team called, whatever that says, Inverurie Locos. Yeah, it doesn't sound very Scottish, but it is apparently. Matty Cash bagged a hat-trick, Brennan Johnson scored as well, and Joe Lolly again scored. Finally, we played Brest, where John Bostock had a good game, but he did miss a penalty. Adoma got on the score sheet as well, and we won 2-1 against Brest, which isn't bad for a League 1 team, I believe they are. So I won't go into the Championship results just yet, but yeah, we will go through what we've set up in terms of tactics, who we're going to get rid of, etc. So I'll cover up the stats here to not give anything away just yet. We're playing a 4-2-3-1 with Lewis Graban up front in the I forgot what the CF role is called now. Complete forward. Yeah, I don't know how I've just forgotten that. The complete forward on attack, so he's doing a bit of everything up front. He's trying to win headers, he's trying to be an advanced forward poacher. Yeah, bits of everything, which Graban is generally quite good at. He's a quite all-rounded player, so I think that position, that role suits him well. Just forgive Watson at Cam there in the advanced playmaker role. He didn't play their last game. I just like to keep my formation the same and then change it during the actual matches. So Watson was actually playing as a half-back in the last game. We've had Myton and Lolly playing as the inside forward on attack, switching up between them. Alex Myton, like I mentioned, is the 17-year-old youth prospect that we've got coming through at Nottingham Forest. And Adoma and Sami Amiobi have been switching on the left side. Semedo Sambasso, Thiago Silva, who's been playing really well. Who else has been in the midfield? Claudio Jacob's been in the midfield as well, and John Bostock. They've all been sort of switching around as well as we've got into the season. Ribeiro and Jack Robinson have been switching on the left. Jenkinson's been playing quite a lot of games on the right because we're struggling for a right back with Tendai Director out. And we've had Figueiredo, Kemmer, Joe Worrell, who's a local lad from Hucknall, and Milosevic have been rotating in the centre-back position, as well as Samba in goal, rotating with Manchester City's loanee Muric, who plays for Kosovo. So that's basically how I've been set up. We are trying to play a possession game, an attacking possession game with a lot of short passing. There's been some good signs of that so far in the matches that we have played, which you'll get to see in a moment. And yeah, we've got a bit of fragility at the back defensively, which I need to sort out. So we might have to turn down the attacking, but we don't want to go against our 5-year plan in terms of the goal in there, which is required where we play attacking football. So we'll see what happens there. Now, in terms of the actual squad and the transfers, we have listed a few players, including some of the centre-backs. Benelawan, who's I think on the highest wage at Nottingham Forest. So we want to try and get rid of Benelawan. I'd prefer not to play him. We've got basically 3 centre-backs listed here for loan. I did disable the first transfer window so that the teams are quite realistic and based on what there is in real life. So we're going to list 3 centre-backs and Costa Pantilimon, the goalkeeper, as we've got plenty of goalkeeper cover throughout this season. Apart from that, if we're looking at in terms of our most valuable players, obviously we've got Joe Lolly, who's great at cutting inside from the right with long shots from the edge of the box. He's quite quick and gets in some good positions, so would like to keep him. Chema Rodriguez or Kema. I'm not sure on the pronunciation yet. I've had him on a previous Football Manager when I was managing Levante. He's a really good centre-back, actually. Good mental stats. Good for this league, I believe. And then we've got João Carvalho, who's a good advanced playmaker. A lot of good stats for the Championship, actually. And his value should go up as we go through the seasons. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it for now to show you. Obviously, we'll get into specific players as we go along. But yeah, right now, what I'll do is I'll show you the highlights package from pre-season, and then we'll go into the Championship highlights package. So, Partizan, I mentioned, was a ball draw, 0-0. This was the only highlight, guys. That was about it. That was all that happened the whole game. Port Vale, a nice 3-1 win. The team's there if you want to have a look. We mixed up a bit here. And Zach Clough lobs a ball over to Adoma, shows them the pace he has, and executes a nice finish. Port Vale get back into the game, though, with a nice tally finish from across that wide for Christian Montano. And a quick counter-attack, which I thought Bostock was going to do a little bit better on there with a nice direct pass forward, but he didn't. He went out wide with Robinson and played some 1-2s. Robinson put in a nice cross, and Jakub just comes out of nowhere, heads the ball from the edge of the box. Pumas, a free draw where we lose on penalties. We started the game really well. Jenkinson puts a beautiful ball forward for Graben to run onto. I think a deflected header meant the ball just fell at Lolly's feet, and with a nice little bit of footwork, he managed to score. Again, Joe Lolly shows what he does best here. Takes on his man, smashes it into the goal. Nothing else to say there. We lose possession just before half time. And there's a good Pumas counter attack on with some nice little play from the corner into the middle here, and a absolute rocket into the back of the net. There's nothing that Samba can do there, unfortunately. So second half, we're a bit all over the place at the back. I'm just messing around with the cameras, and whilst I'm doing that, another pulled back goal from just inside the box this time, and that's 2-2. Shortly followed by a long ball over the top. Our centre backs cannot keep up whatsoever, and Pumas are winning 3-2 as we head into the 73rd minute, where Jenkinson somehow manages to find Thiago Silva, who threads a lovely ball through to Lolly, and Lolly squares it for Adoma. It's not often you see square balls in Football Manager, but that was a really nice finish. And that was the winning penalty for Pumas, knocking us out of into the third place challenge, which is this match against New York City. Lovely ball in for Amiobi, who's quite a tall guy if you don't know him. He's got some decent height on him, so he can win balls in the air, just like Will De Sousa for New York City can. 1-1, and unfortunately we go on to lose this game. Joe Warren doesn't make a great clearance there, and yeah, another edge of the box goal against us, so we need to do some work defensively. We get a clean sheet here against Morecambe though, mainly because they get a red card in the 47th minute for a challenge on one of our youth players, Brennan Johnson. We managed to score a nice goal here though. Ribeiro with a cross from out wide, and Graben just nods it into the top left. Really nice goal that. And I'm switching between 3D and 2D, trying to figure out what I'm going to most enjoy watching. And that's a really tidy finish from Albert Adoma, who used to play for Villa, against the semi-pro Scottish team now. And we're really in the full flow of things. Matty Cash with a header, too powerful for the goalkeeper to save. 1-0. We win the ball back quite high up the pitch. Managed to get a counter-attack on with Bostock. Lolly fires one across all the way to Matty Cash. Somehow wins the header. Moore somehow manages to head it back to him. And it's a nice finish from Cash. Cash should be a good player for us this season. He's a right midfielder. During the friendlies, I played him at right back, which is probably why we conceded and lost some of the games. He wasn't great. There's a few more goals in here. Rafa Mir and Matty Cash linking up nicely. Jack Robinson passes to Lolly on the edge of the box. I feel like in the beta there's quite a few similar goals where the ball is just coming in from a cutback off the wing and being rocketed into the goal. So we'll see what happens. But Adoma takes on a man and has a really nice finish. John Bostock scores from the free kick, and we concede a header from Brest and win 2-1. And that was the final pre-season match. So there was quite a lot of goals to take a look at there. The main thing that we noted was that the defensive efforts weren't great from Forest. There is a lot of work to be done, and it's going to be a bit of a struggle against some of the better attacking teams in the Championship. But it's good that our last two games we managed to score loads of goals, and then we played Brest, who are a French League One club, and we got a 2-1 win against those guys. So that puts us in a good sort of place heading into the Sky Bet Championship. Now remember, I'm not making any transfers because the transfer window is disabled for the first transfer window at least. So we're heading straight into the West Brom game, which is our first match within the league, and it should be a really tough game. West Brom obviously have a great squad and are very used to playing in the Championship. Nearly got promoted last season. Obviously they was in the Premier League before that, so they've got a good lot of players, including Charlie Austin up front. So a tough game awaits. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see some more. And yeah, look forward to getting stuck into the season and seeing who can take us to the Premier League, hopefully. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you later.